Hello, McFatter Technical High School students and parents. It is Thursday, November 12th. I am Jeanette Johnson, your director and principal here at McFatter Technical College and Technical High School. We welcome you to this week's updates. And as always, with me this week are Mr. Daryl Harris, our assistant principal.
Hello, everyone.
And our magnet coordinator, Miss Lily DeCastro.
Hey, that's for Jacob and hi to everybody else.
I'm sorry I missed you guys last week, but I saw what you did, and you did a great job with last week's coverage, so I appreciate that. We wanted to dive into several things we wanted to advise families and students of this week. I wanted to start, however, by hoping that all of you observed Veterans Day yesterday. We know that we have students who have family members who have served or continue to serve in the armed forces. So yesterday was a day to honor all of them and all of the work that they do on behalf of our country. So thank you to all of you who serve or who are family members of those who do. We truly appreciate it. So thank you for that. In terms of business, we've got a couple of things that are actually happening tomorrow, Friday, that we wanted to immediately make sure everybody was aware. And we'll start with Mr. Harris. He's going to talk about a social emotional well-being survey that our students will be taking. Mr. Harris.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. As you know, we've mentioned and discussed a lot of support that and activities that we've had throughout the school year regarding social and emotional learning. So this is an activity that the district and survey that the district is put out for all of us to do. And just a little bit of background, just so you understand, and I'm sure you already know, but that social and emotional learning is a key component to positive outcomes in school. So that's one of the main reasons why we take so much interest in looking into this, finding out the status, how our students are doing, and how we can provide continuous support to our students. So with that in mind, the district has put together a survey, and the survey takes approximately 15 minutes for the students to complete. Now, this survey will take place tomorrow on Friday, November the 13th, during the first period of your students' classes. And this will be an opportunity for them to complete the assessment, and we will get feedback soon afterwards about what are some of the concerns, some of the issues, some of the needs of our students, and then put together a real action plan, which is part of our school improvement plan of things that we can do to support our students, and more than anything, to make sure that we're doing the right things to make sure that our students are being taken care of and provide the support that they need. So our school social worker, Mrs. Ford, is coordinating this effort to make sure she's put together the presentation, the PowerPoint, everything, and then also the assessment. She's working with the district to administer that assessment. So tomorrow, first period, all of our students will have that done, and hopefully we'll get some, concrete feedback soon that we can make sure to continue to support our students. So just remember, just tell your students to look out for that and to participate for those that have agreed to participate in it, because it is very important for us to continue to provide support.
The student doesn't have to go looking for this. They're going to be walked through it by their first period teacher. Is that correct?
Absolutely. The teachers have already been notified. They've been given the script, everything to the proctor, the assessment, and they'll go through and listen to the overall presentation. And so I said it takes about 15 minutes for them to complete the assessment. And the district will get the feedback. They'll provide it to us. And then we'll also turn around and figure out what we can do to continue to support our students.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And speaking of social emotional, of course, huge components of that are the opportunity for students to socialize with one another, to have an opportunity to have some fun, some collaboration time, not just academics. And so linked to that, also tomorrow for our on-campus students, we're doing another one of our Fun Fridays. And I know Ms. DeCastro, who's been coordinating all of that, wanted to just kind of let people know what that is and what we do for that, with that for our students who are here on campus.
Thank you. So before we return to face-to-face, we tried to have some Fun Friday events online, and we might bring those back if students show an interest. If you want to do that, please let me know, and we'll get that to happen. But the students who were here, it was kind of quiet at lunchtime. Lunchtime used to go so quickly, and now it's a little slow some days. So last week we decided let's try something differently, and we had some games. We were very careful with, keeping sure to sanitize and follow the safety protocols. And so this week we're going to do it again. We have some new games that the staff has thought of. So we hope that the students like it. At the end of the time last Friday, they said, yes, please, let's do it again. Officer Parmenter is bringing some video games for students who have an interest in that. So we're hoping to have fun again. Mr. Harris, don't forget your sneakers.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. So remember, thank you.
So we're ready to have another Fun Friday, Fun Friday the 13th. And we have some more candy and treats for this week as well.
And I never knew how hard hula hooping was. I can't do it anymore. I don't know, maybe it's just age. I don't know.
My best was 3. My best
I
was
couldn't
3.
get 1, okay?
Yeah. As you said, Mr. Harris, age slows us all down.
Yes,
Like that does.
please, don't remind me.
Absolutely. I also wanted to mention to students and parents, there is currently a survey. It's been open this week. You would access it through Clever, and it's posted up until Monday, and the district is asking all students and parents to please take the survey. Again, it's accessed through Clever. And what it's about is a provision the district is considering whereby they would be requiring potentially students to turn on their cameras during class, at least for attendance taken at the beginning of the period. They wouldn't be requiring that the cameras would remain on throughout the entire period, but they are looking at that as a possibility. And so they're seeking input from students, from parents, and from teachers. So please log into Clever and look for that survey. It's very quick. I believe it's just one question, and that's posted up until the end of the day on Monday, the 16th. So we hope everyone will participate in that survey as well. Also next week, we've got the beginning of some of the standardized testing for our students. And for that, I turn it back over to Mr. Harris.
Thank you. And that testing that will start actually on November the 16th through December the 3rd. And that's our ELA, which stands for English Language Arts. And we will be providing those testing here on campus. And just out of assurance to the parents and the students, the classrooms will be pretty small in size as far as the number of students testing, ranging from 3 students maybe to 15. And when we have 15 students, it's in our largest classroom that we have on campus. So that testing will take place on November 16th through December 3rd. And when I say through December 3rd, some students are just testing maybe on December 16th and 17th. Another group of students are testing on other days. So no student is testing all those days, but we spread it out to give enough time and space for all the students to test. So that's the ELA test, English Language Arts test, will start on November 16th. And I believe that is Monday.
It is. And that's for our 9th and 10th grade students,
yes.
Correct?
Yeah, yes, and we have a few, there's a few students that may be in the 11th grade that may be retesting, but most of them are 10th and 9th and 10th, like you said.
And so how are, since it's a huge window and we just have to assess the students at some point during that window, how are students and their parents being notified of when their assigned date is that they would need to come to take the test? How does that work?
And they should have been notified through their teachers. And if any student is not sure of the time that they're testing, please reach out to their English teacher. And that's the way they should be able to get that answer, or their counselor. They should be able to get the information from either of them. But I do have the list of all the students.
So if I'm a 9th or 10th grade student or parent, and I'm not sure what date over the next 3-4 weeks I'm supposed to be on campus to do my ELA test, I can reach out either to my English teacher.
Yes, and just one thing, just want to be clear too. For this particular testing here, this test, it's going to be 11th graders. It's going to be all 11th graders. ELA is for 11th.
That's because they were not able to test last year, and the 10th grade test is the graduation requirement test.
Right.
Mr. Mims may have also sent them an email directly, because he did request contact email information from me.
And I think most parents should receive that email. That is correct. And also there are a few that needed transportation. We're working on transportation for a few students, and those that needed transportation, that doesn't come up to those that is testing on December the 2nd and the 3rd. So they should have already received all that notification.
And so the best point of contact for anyone who is uncertain or needs help is whom?
Their counselor.
Their counselor. Because the other thing about this, actually, this just occurred to me.
Gotcha.
This will be all the students in those grade levels that are affected, whether or not they have English this term.
That is
So
correct.
they may not have an English teacher to be telling them what their test date is, which is
So-
where the role of their counselor comes in so importantly.
Absolutely. That is correct.
So Miss Fussell, since it's 11th grade, will be the counselor. Her email address is tamika.fussell@browardschools.com. So Miss Fussell is the counselor for all of 11th grade.
Perfect. Thank you both.
And one thing, Ms. Johnson, I'll do as well, I have the list of all the students as well that is testing. I'll make sure that we reach out to them also through a Canvas page to make sure it's a reminder about those, especially those that are coming up on the 16th and 17th. I think there's only 3 students that is testing on that particular date.
Perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. And then, believe it or not, we're already having some preparations looking towards next school year, the 21-22 school year. As a magnet school, of course, we have an application process. Mr. Castro, as our magnet coordinator, does the recruiting for our magnet students and manages the application process. And yes, she has begun that already. So we wanted to give an opportunity for Mr. Castro to let our families know, because we know there may be younger brothers and sisters or friends of the family or other people who might be interested in potentially joining us next year. So Mr. Castro.
Thank you. I don't know if anybody caught our Facebook Live event that the district held last week. There were a few hundred parents who did come. All of the magnet programs were there. One of our graduates from a few years ago, he had his spot. He was presented. They were not able to include all of the students and all of the submissions. So we were excited that we had our minute. The window actually opens on December 1st and closes on February 8th. And the most important thing for parents, families, friends to know is you really need to apply in that first window, because they do reopen it later, but historically you cannot even have an opportunity to be considered until the wait pool from the first window is empty, and we rarely make it to the second window. So I don't want to discourage people, but timeliness is key. It doesn't matter if you apply on December 1st or on February 8th. As long as you apply within that window, you have an equal chance. And that being said, our open house is going to be on January 12th. So anybody who wants to wait until they get more information, that's perfectly fine. We are trying to get to every middle school that's within our transportation zone. So from Sunrise Boulevard to the Dade County line, all the way east and all the way west, we do try to get into all of those schools, and we're doing virtual events for the schools. So if they have friends and family who are in middle schools, they should reach out to their counselor and find out when we will be talking to their locations in particular.
Right. And I want to be sure, especially the parents of our 9th graders who are new to us this year, current students don't need to reapply to remain in the school. This is only for people who would be applying for new admission. And I also want to mention that there is a county-wide what's called a sibling preference. If you have a current student who will be a student in the school next year as well, and a younger sibling applies, as long as they meet the entrance criteria, they automatically get admitted and don't have to go through the lottery process. However, even those individuals need to apply during the application window, or they will be stuck waiting to see if we have openings, if they are a late applicant.
Absolutely. Great point. Also, we are not looking this one year in particular. We are not looking at 8th grade test scores or last year's test scores, because there are none. So they are looking at the previous year. So what would that be? The 18-19 school year's test scores, but the 19-20 school year's grades. So it's a little more complex, but I'm confident in our ability to get through it. So.
And it is still a couple of weeks away. You mentioned the application window opens on the 1st, so I'm sure we'll mention again and again, but while we're at it, to beat people to this question, how do they apply? Where do they find the application once it's open on the 1st?
Absolutely. On browardschools.com/school choice is the website. And we'll put it up on our page. Ms. Fraser's posting it on social media, so we're reaching out in multiple formats.
Perfect. And again, we'll talk about it again in the future on this weekly update, I'm sure. But since you're out there in the thick of it already, we wanted to at least put it on people's radar that time is coming up as well.
Thank you.
And with that, I think we've covered everything we thought we needed to talk about this week. Isn't that correct?
Yes. I'm
Yes.
good.
All right. Well, then we will sign off for this week. We will see you again next Thursday. Hope everyone stays dry if this rain would ever stop, and has a lovely weekend. Take care, you two. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.